lots happened since we talked last, like loads of things. And I don't even know where to begin. But I want to start with something that I've always wanted to know, and then we'll get to the obvious, okay?
Okay.
When you sign on to work on a comic book centric film, how many documents must you sign that say you cannot say anything about what you're doing?
I mean, not that much. I think as far as I remember, it was just kind of one thing. And that was even before, or no, maybe it was after. I think to read the script in the first place, I had to sign something. And then once we were like, it was official, I was doing it, I had to sign something else, but it's not too crazy. It's pretty, I mean, it's basically all on trust anyway, because anyone could say anything to anybody. And it would be, I think it's just mostly like, it would just be kind of shitty, and you don't want to ruin it for all the people working hard on the movie or for the people that want to eventually see the movie. So I think that whether there was something to sign or not, I don't think anyone would say anything, because it's more fun if it's a surprise, you know?
Have you heard the scuttlebutt on what people think, who people think you're playing in the film?
No, I haven't.
People hypothesize, and I've seen this many places, that you are playing an older version of Peter Parker.
Huh. That's interesting.
And see, people watching, I can't get anything from his reaction because he's so good. I can't read anything. I can't get anything from that. As far as I know, that could be correct, or it could be completely off base, and we're not even going to go there. So
right.
Thank you for indulging me. But when
Sure.
we transition here, and I begin to say Emmy nominated actor Adam Scott for Severance, how does that make you feel?
I mean, great. I'm still just so sort of taken aback by it, and so flattered. I mean, I think more than anything, it's just so flattering, you know. It's really, really meaningful. It really means a lot. I love it, because it's your peers that vote on this stuff, and it couldn't mean more to me. It's really lovely. It's a great feeling.
Now, the thing that I was taken aback with when we first chatted is that you almost gave off this sense that you didn't think it was even possible for this to happen, which I don't understand why you would even think that, because I mean, you're so brilliant in this, and you've got such brilliant castmates, it's brilliant writing. You had to know this was at least a possibility, right?
I think that for actors, it's easy to feel, and I started in 1993. I started out doing background work, and so it's been a really gradual sort of journey, getting to be the lead of one of the leads of a show, right? Like this one, where it's getting all this attention and stuff. It kind of feels like over that time from, I feel like the most impressionable time of that whole sort of journey is those early years where it's really, really, really hard trying to scrap your way from doing background work to getting representation and getting a few lines on this or that, and then somehow cobbling together a career. And for me, it took years and years and years to do it. And I think it's those early years where you sort of feel invisible in show business, and you kind of feel like it does, whatever you do, it's not gonna make a difference because nobody sees you anyway. All you want is to be sort of noticed and given a shot, and it just doesn't happen for years and years. So I feel like all that to say that I feel like that sort of invisible feeling is something that all actors share who started out, kind of scrapping their way up. And I don't think that ever goes away. So to think that I would be recognized like that still feels absurd, because I feel like the die was cast years and years ago, where I feel like I'm, it's always going to kind of feel that way. Any sort of recognition is still surprising. That was a long way around to try and answer your question.
No, it was perfect. I could have listened to you give that in-depth explanation more if you had, because I thought it was a tremendous insight into who you are as an artist, personally. And I'm going to go on a limb here and tell me if I'm wrong. You were excited to get nominated, no question. I think that anybody who would say you weren't, that's just human nature. But you're the type of person that was probably even more excited that people you worked with on Severance got nominated and they got recognized, just because of where this project came from and where it now is sort of in the spotlight as being one of these revered projects of the past year. So am I right in that assumption?
Yeah, I mean, I was really hoping that Dan and Ben would get nominated, and then Patricia, John, Chris, and all the actors, Tramel, Britt, Zach, everybody. And so, yeah, I was thrilled when I heard all those names getting called. There's nothing more gratifying than hearing that, because they all deserve it.
So how do you decide what to submit? That's the part that I don't understand from my perspective. You've got this huge body of work from that season that was tremendous. How do you narrow it down to, okay, this is what I submit for this final part of the process?
Yeah, it is tricky, because, like you said, it's sort of spread out over 9 episodes, and I think anyone trying to figure out what to pick would like to just pinch from this episode or that just kind of compile or something. But as far as just picking an episode, it's tricky.
Now, have you already arranged a sitter for that night?
My kids are teenagers now, so they don't need a sitter.
Okay.
They're like, go ahead, go have a night.
So do you go prepared with a speech, or do you go with no speech and wing it?
Oh man. I haven't even thought of this as a reality yet. That, I don't know. That's a great question that I'm gonna have to figure out.
I said this to Seth Meyers the other day, and I'm going to say the same thing to you. Just make sure your wife's the top of that list. Just make sure she's the first person you mention. Just trying to help you out. I mean,
great advice. Great advice.
I understand I'm not in your shoes. I'm not nominated.
100%.
Has to be the wife first, right?
It's a bad move if you forget your partner.
So who was the first one to call you?
My publicist, Jody and Melissa,
they're great.
Called me while I was walking my dogs. I knew the announcement was coming, and just had to get out and walk the dogs. So yeah, it was a really happy moment. And then just sort of stood by waiting to hear of other Severance nominations, which was really exciting too.
Was there, hold on, I thought I was muted, my apologies. Was there somebody who reached out to you that, quite frankly, surprised you that they reached out to you when the nomination was announced?
Oh, you mean like friends and stuff?
Yeah.
I was surprised. No, not necessarily. I mean, it was certainly, it was really nice hearing from people. You realize sort of how far something like this reaches. Um, uh, it was just such a great morning, and I had to hop on a plane to come out here like 2 hours after the announcement. So I was in the middle of packing, and it was sort of a adrenaline fueled. And I did a terrible job packing. I got here to Boston. I was like, oh my God, I didn't bring a belt. Like I just hadn't, my brain was elsewhere. So I've had to get a new belt, a Boston belt, which is Boston's famous for their belts. So I'm happy this is where I am.
So you get there, your head's spinning. How soon after that do you have to make the decision for the submission, or have you already made the submission?
The submit. Oh, you mean like choosing the?
Yeah, the episode.
I had to do that pretty quickly. I think I was like kind of right away or within a week or of the nominations. But yes, we already made the submission.
Is it common knowledge, or you don't want to say?
I don't know. I don't know if you're supposed to say, or if it's
okay.
I actually don't know what the protocol is there. I would have no problem with you knowing. I just don't know if I'm supposed to or not.
No, okay.
Do you know?
No, I don't. I generally wanted to know that for sure, yeah. but I don't want you to ruin any sort of process that's going on, Adam.
Okay. Yeah,
so, let's not get the Emmy people. If we
found out that it was fine to let you know, I would totally tell you, because I don't think it's fine.
So now, with all this going on, have they began discussions about the second season, about like where things go next? Have you been getting thoughts and emails or text, if you will, about where things might be headed?
Yeah, we're starting relatively soon, so all that stuff is happening, and it's super exciting, and can't wait to get going on it, and for everyone to eventually get to see it.
But here's the thing: you're gonna have to shave the beard.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who knows, right?
Well, maybe they'll write the beard in this season.
Maybe there's a severed beard somewhere.
Oh, maybe. Now, in terms of the second season, is there anything you would like to see happen with your character in the second season?
That I would like to see?
Yeah.
I think more goats is always a good, prescription for anything. More baby goats. That's my big memo.
Have you reached?
Is more goats.
Have you reached a point with Dan where you can make those type of suggestions?
Yeah, and that's what I'm glad we had this conversation, because I'm going to text him right now. More baby goats.
And he'll know exactly what you mean. More baby goats. You don't have any contacts. Okay. Now, without getting anything away, and then we're going to wrap, because I know you got stuff going on. You got a little film you're doing, blah, blah, blah. You're just Mr. Busy. Okay, I'm going to dance around this, and I'm going to try to
Sure.
Okay.
I love watching you dance.
Oh, yeah. Here I go dancing. Okay, here's what we'll do.
Okay.
Is there the potential of someone joining the cast in the second season of Severance that will definitely get people buzzing? Someone new joining the cast?
I don't know. I can't say anything as far as like second season stuff goes. Yeah, I can't really say. You're just saying, like, is there
have you heard something?
No. Why, have you?
You think I know a lot more than I actually do.
No, I mean, I haven't.
I appreciate your confidence in me. I mean, the best I've been able to come up with this conversation, other than just kind of living vicariously through this Emmy nomination, is telling you that people think you're playing this version of Peter Parker in
Right.
the movie you're filming. And of course, now there's this rumor that it may not actually be that movie, but you know, people just like to chat. But
Seems like you have your ear to the ground though. So I thought like if you had heard, you know, something that you would
well, I'll just say this and we'll wrap on this. It wasn't surprising to me that you got nominated. I'm so happy that you did. I am so proud that I was even able to talk to you before and now after the fact. And quite frankly, it wouldn't surprise me if we do this one more time after it's all over, possibly celebrating something. And I'll just leave it at that. We don't want to jinx anything. I don't know if you're superstitious. We're going to knock on wood, but
you're very, very kind to me.